in the morning.
Welcome back to our channel, Y&R fam. Today is a wild one, and we have got a massive, explosive situation to unpack in Genoa City right now. I am absolutely bursting with thoughts. So grab your favorite snack, settle in, and let's dive right into the madness of this Abbott family nightmare. I literally cannot believe they actually went there and did this. I mean, we all knew Patty Williams was completely unhinged and a ticking time bomb, but plunging a knife into Jack Abbott? My jaw is still on the floor. I am typing this up late at night after watching the latest episode, and my hands are literally shaking because I am so worked up. I just need to vent to people who actually get it, because this is absolute insanity. And I know some people are loving this dark, twisted thriller drama, but personally, I am a nervous wreck. Jack Abbott is a legacy character, the heart and soul of the Abbott family, and seeing him bleeding out on his own dining room floor is just too much to process. But let's rewind for a second, because I need to talk about Patty's totally warped psychology here. She actually thinks she is doing this out of love. She stabbed him because she wants them to be together in the afterlife. I mean, how delusional can you get? She literally thinks this is some twisted Romeo and Juliet scenario where she takes him out so they can spend eternity together, far away from Diane Jenkins. Because Patty is so obsessed with Jack, she would rather see him dead than see him working things out with his wife. It is terrifying. And the fact that Jack was just playing along with her to get intel on Diane's whereabouts? Yeah, that backfired in the most spectacular, tragic way possible. Let's look at Patty's history for a second to really understand how crazy this is. This is the same woman who kissed a young Summer Newman with peanut butter on her lips, fully knowing the kid had a deadly allergy. She is capable of pure, unadulterated evil. And remember how Victor Newman used her recently? He put Patty on that abandoned yacht, had her drug Jack, and basically forced him into a compromising position just to ruin Jack's marriage to Diane. Patty has been a pawn and a monster for years, and the fact that she is now playing judge, jury, and executioner with Jack's life is making my blood boil. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the discovery scene, because the July 6th episode is going to go down in Y&R history as one of the most traumatic episodes ever aired. Kyle and Diane walking through the front doors of the Abbott mansion, probably expecting to have another tense argument, and instead, they find Jack. He is literally on the floor, pulling at the tablecloth, shattering glass, just to get their attention, because he is losing so much blood. The visual of Jack covered in blood, fighting for his life, is going to haunt my nightmares. I've been watching since 2015, and this is easily one of the most visceral, heartbreaking things they've done to the Abbott family. And Kyle, poor Kyle, the sheer panic in his eyes when he realizes his father is dying right in front of him is devastating. He is frantically calling 911, only to find out that the police and paramedics have already been dispatched, which, by the way, is a whole nother level of crazy. Who called them? Was it Patty playing some sick game? Diane is down on the floor, getting completely covered in Jack's blood as she desperately tries to stop the bleeding. It is pure chaos, and the acting from everyone involved is just off the charts. You can feel their absolute terror through the screen. So, Jack is rushed to the hospital, and the paramedics literally have to perform CPR on him at the scene. He is in critical condition, fighting for his life, and the entire Abbott family is about to be thrown into a complete tailspin. Which brings me to the absolute best part of this horrific storyline. Ashley Abbott is coming home. Yes, thank the soap gods. Eileen Davidson is returning, and I am so here for it. Because if anyone can handle this level of absolute madness, it is Ashley. She is the fierce, protective lioness of the Abbott family. And when she finds out what happened to her brother, hell is going to freeze over. I mean, who is going to make that devastating phone call to Ashley? Is it going to be Tracy? Tracy is usually the rock of the family, the one who holds everyone together when things fall apart. I can totally see Tracy calling Ashley, her voice breaking, telling her she needs to get on the first flight back to Genoa City. And let's talk about Tracy for a second. Tracy has just been through absolute hell with that psychopath Martin Laurent, who pretended to be his twin brother Alan just to manipulate her. Tracy's own psychological trauma is so fresh, and now she has to deal with her beloved brother being brutally attacked by another psychopath. It is just too much for one family to bear. Or maybe it will be Abby who makes the call. Abby is Ashley's daughter, and she is already so wrapped up in all this Devin and Mariah drama. Mariah is literally going to a psychiatric facility for kidnapping Dominic, and Abby is stressed to the max. But seeing her uncle Jack clinging to life, Abby would drop all the Chancellor Winters drama in a heartbeat and call her mom in a total panic, sobbing into the phone. Regardless of who dials the number, Ashley is going to drop everything she is doing and rush back to Genoa City, because Ashley and Jack's bond is the absolute core of this show. Remember when they fought tooth and nail over Jabot? Remember the Blood Abbott clause? Yeah, they have had their brutal, nasty wars in the boardroom. But at the end of the day, when it comes to life or death, they are family. They love each other fiercely. Ashley is not going to sit around in Paris or wherever she is while her brother is hooked up to life support. She is going to march into that hospital, demand the best doctors in the world, and then she is going to go on the warpath. And let's talk about the absolute circus she is walking into. Because Patty didn't just stab Jack and run away. Oh no. Patty is currently upstairs at the mansion, cutting her own arm and staging a massive frame job against Diane. I cannot deal with this woman's level of crazy. Patty is producing forged diaries and fake audio recordings, trying to convince Detective Burrow that Diane is the one who stabbed Jack. And she is using Dr. Lawrence Markham, that absolute fraud of a psychiatrist who is holding Diane hostage as her star witness. Markham is backing up Patty's lies, claiming Diane is mentally unstable and dangerous. So Diane, who is literally covered head to toe in Jack's blood from trying to save his life, is now the prime suspect in his attempted murder. Am I the only one who wants to scream at the TV? Detective Burrow is locking down the mansion, screaming that he has had enough and refusing to let anyone leave. It is a complete frame job, and the police are totally buying it because of Diane's shady past. And honestly, can we blame the cops for being suspicious of Diane? Let's travel back in time to 2011. Diane literally orchestrated her own fake murder in a Genoa City park. She teamed up with Deacon Sharp, used a literal corpse from the morgue, and framed Nikki Newman for it. She let Jack and Kyle mourn her violent, gruesome death for over a decade. So yeah, when Detective Burrow looks at Diane, covered in Jack's blood, and hears Patty's forged audio recordings, of course he's going to think Diane snapped. Will Ashley believe Patty's lies? Honestly, I kind of doubt it. Ashley is way too smart to be manipulated by Patty Williams of all people. Ashley knows Patty is a complete psychopath, but Ashley also despises Diane. Let's not forget the decades of bad blood between Ashley and Diane. So Ashley might initially be suspicious of Diane, or at least she will clash with her in the hospital waiting room. But once Ashley realizes that Patty is the one who plunged that knife into Jack's chest, all bets are off. Ashley's rage is going to be entirely focused on taking Patty down. I am predicting an epic, legendary confrontation between Ashley and Patty. I mean, I need this showdown like I need air. Patty is going to be spewing her delusional nonsense about how she and Jack are meant to be together, and Ashley is going to absolutely verbally destroy her. Ashley has zero tolerance for nonsense, and seeing the woman who almost killed her brother, oh, Patty better run and hide. Because Ashley Abbott on a warpath is not something anyone wants to mess with. I am counting down the days until Eileen Davidson gets to unleash her fury on screen. And how exactly is that confrontation going to go down? Patty is currently cornered upstairs at the Abbott mansion, but she's playing the victim perfectly. When Ashley finally gets her hands on Patty, it's not just going to be a shouting match. Ashley is going to systematically dismantle every single one of Patty's delusions. Patty thinks she and Jack are star-crossed lovers, Ashley is going to hit her with the cold, hard reality that Jack pities her and was only using her to save Diane. That is going to break Patty's fragile mind even further. I want to see Ashley back Patty into a wall and make her realize that the Abbott family is not going to be terrorized anymore. But we also have to talk about Kyle. Because Kyle is going down a very, very dark path right now. The trauma of finding his dad bleeding out has completely broken him. Kyle is swearing vengeance against Patty, and he is willing to do whatever it takes to make her pay. He is even considering teaming up with old enemies to get the resources he needs. Diane is begging him to stop, terrified he is going to ruin his own life, but Kyle is not listening. He is consumed by rage. And this is where Ashley might have to step in. Ashley is going to be the crucial voice of reason for Kyle. Kyle is currently spiraling out of control, secretly investigating Patty, and looking to form alliances with some of the worst people in Genoa City just to get his revenge. Diane is completely failing to stop him because Kyle is just brushing her off. He doesn't respect Diane's warnings right now. But Ashley? Kyle respects his Aunt Ashley. When Ashley looks Kyle in the eye and tells him that Jack wouldn't want him destroying his soul over a monster like Patty, Kyle might actually listen. Ashley has the authority and the family standing to pull Kyle back from the brink of total darkness. She needs to remind him that he is a father to Harrison, and Harrison cannot lose his dad to a prison cell just because Kyle wanted to play vigilante. And honestly, we cannot ignore the massive elephant in the room, Victor Newman. Because Victor is the one who funded Patty's return. Victor paid for her VIP suite at the GCAC, he bought her clothes, he kept her clothes just to mess with Jack. Victor literally handed Patty the resources she needed to cause all this destruction. When Ashley finds out that Victor's petty, vindictive games are the reason Jack is currently fighting for his life, oh my God. The Newman versus Abbott war is going to explode like never before. Victor has done some despicable things in his life, but using a severely mentally ill woman like Patty as a weapon against his rival, that is a new low. Ashley is going to march right up to the Newman Ranch and give Victor a piece of her mind, and I am going to be cheering her on the entire time. Okay, back to the point. Jack is in the hospital, and the emotional stakes have never been higher. We are going to get those classic soap opera hospitals